Shuttlecock, as you spin your eye stalk towards the commotion, a blade is suddenly pressed against it. Don't move a bloody inch!
You take your filthy hands off that robot, you son of a bitch.
You can see that where the dune, like where the footprints were in the dune and what have you was, these people, 3 of them, have come directly out of the sand itself. It looks like there are 3 spots where they had been just laying silently. You'd basically almost walked over them, and they have pulled themselves up and are behind you.
We've been fucking ambushed.
I said there's 3 of them. There is the one with the switchblade is grim looking. All 3 of them are. They have the same decaying flesh that Mr. Balloon had. Only these ones aren't distended and looking quite as horrible, but there's still an element of decay and rot, and to look at these things, you are met by quite a horrible visage. The one with the switchblade is dressed with a flat cap, a small waistcoat, fairly working class looking attire, as you might know from history books that are in the vault. He has what you would struggle to call the youngest demeanor of the bunch, given the way that they all look, but there's something about him that says that he's the one that's like lowest on the pecking order. Behind him are a man and a woman. The man is also dressed quite similarly, with leather trousers and a waistcoat, flat cap. He's got a laser weapon in his hand. He's got a small pistol, and it is trained forward, backing up the other one with the switchblade. The third is a feminine appearing one. They're wearing a dress. It's a flowery dress. It looks like it's seen much better days. It's torn to pieces. It's barely what it once was. And they are holding a rolling pin in their hand, kind of held up. Yeah, keep him under control, Harriet. Don't let him move.
Or what, love? You'll bake me a cake?
You don't want to find out what we'll do. And the one with the laser gun points it directly at Percy.
Percy brings his pistol out at the same time and just trains it. Think about it, friend.
Okay, can I interject and be like, okay, everybody, okay, look. We are just here to answer what seemed like a distress call and maybe see if you guys have a robot that I can have.
Time and a place, Victor.
Yeah, I know, but, I got a science.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard to science if you're dead.
Yes, but it's even harder to science when there's nothing to science on. Just roll with me here, okay?
The ghoul in the gown taps the other ghoul with the laser pistol on the shoulder with the rolling pin and goes, "Did you hear what he said about distress? They might be here to help us." And the one with the pistol cocks his head to the side and says, "What's that about distress? I'm not saying that we're in trouble and we don't need no help or nothing, but if you're saying you're here to help, then who exactly? And with what?"
We're here to help the people that left the sign on the beach.
We saw flashing lights.
We came to
investigate.
And help. That's a really nice laser pistol you've got. What does that make?
Don't you worry about this and where I go or anything like that. And he shakily waves it towards you, Victor, moving the training off of Percy. I don't want to shoot or hurt anybody, all right? If you're here to help, then I think we all need to just calm down a little bit. And he puts his hand towards the feminine one and like brings the rolling pin down a bit. Harriet, take it away from that thing's eye. We don't want anybody getting cut up or nothing.
Wise words. And Percy just slowly brings down the pistol to his side.
Right, we're all calm, aren't we? Right, calm.
Look, we're all calm on our side. We just want to help and other stuff.
But mostly help.
But help is what I said.
Okay, well, I'll give you the time of day for now. But if I see you doing anything funny, then you better be sure I'm ready. I've had people tell me they want to help before. We showed them what was what, right, Aria? And the one with the knife just gives a nod and keeps staring Shuttlecock in the eye, and you can see the narrowing of the eyes. Like, he's serious. That's like, yes, he has dealt with people before.
Okay, no, we just definitely want to help. We definitely want to do that. Maybe find out where those other people came from. But another question for another time. Just what's the problem?
I appreciate the help and everything, and he starts looking around in a slightly frantic manner that is enough to make you wonder what the hell might be happening. He's like, we shouldn't be talking out here. They're going to hear us, and they'll come floating over, and, well, let me explain. Just keep going the way you were going. We got a little spot back there that we hide in. And he gestures towards the plants and shrubbery and what have you that you were starting to work through.
Okay, all right. After you guys.
Yeah, we'll show you the way. And he holds out a very wizened hand. There's no skin on 3 of the fingers at all. There's barely any flesh on them. He holds out and he goes, the name's Harry.
I pull my hand out to shake it and say, Victor, pleasure. I guess I introduce Percy, and then I introduce Shuttlecock.
I think Shuttlecock, as soon as the blade had been removed from near my eye, like, connection, because, I'm pretty armoured and that anyway, but, like, there definitely were some wires in that area that I didn't want to have cut. As soon as the blade was lowered, I backed up, and I have kind of raised my circular saw a little bit. I haven't spun it up or anything, but I'm now prepared to have it kick off.
Sure.
Okay. Harry looking over to see that Shuttlecock is squared up and Harrier has matched the energy, let's say. And it's not a complete square off standoff kind of moment, but there is a definite feeling like they're both watching, waiting for the first move. And Harry calls over. He goes, Harry calls over and he goes, Harry, calm down, son. I think they're here to help us. And look, I don't want you getting things. Don't escalate like you did last time. All right?
Can I just give Shuttlecock a nod as if to say, like, hang tight, but like also be slightly ready.
I don't think I even respond. I just
yeah, Shuttlecock completely ignores my look.
Yeah.
Harrier, on the other hand, takes a step back, and begrudgingly you just hear a grumble as in, bloody robots, bloody fighting, never let me get away with it, bloody. And he's just muttering to himself as he wanders back over to the other 2 ghouls. Harry, relieved slightly that Harrier has followed instruction, goes, well, now that that's dealt with, last of all, this here is my beautiful wife, Harriet.
Charmed.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. And she does a little curtsy and does the skirt thing to the side.
With what little she's got left of it.
Exactly. It's all very disconcerting. Like, these appear to be just like people falling to pieces as far as you're concerned. Mr. Balloon was an outlier. You didn't know what the hell he was. And now you're met by this, which is begging more questions.
How much can I determine of whatever it is they have, right? Like, is that... Would I be concerned that I might catch something now that I shook one of their hands?
I mean...
I'm not like a neat freak.
It's one of those things where it's like you're the scientist of the group, so it does feel like your natural curiosity would be the first to like strike up and be like, hang on, I just touched that thing.
I guess because I was more we were in a situation where I was like, maybe show some respect so my team doesn't get blown to bits. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'm thinking about it somewhat now. But I guess I'm just thinking about it right now. I don't think I'll mention anything to people until maybe I've learned a bit more of what's going on here.
I think maybe it would be fair to say that Victor is like quietly rubbing his hand in that, like, oh, let me just try and get this smudge off, kind of like rubbing of like, I don't know if there's anything actually there, but I feel inclined to do this.
I may like go get some sort of isopropyl alcohol out of my med kit. It'll be fine.
Just subtly dousing yourself in antiseptic.
Harry's too built up in like introducing the wife to actually like notice that he actually fully is doting when he says "my beautiful wife." You can hear sincerity in his voice.
Oh, that's sweet.
Right, now that we've got the introductions and formalities out of the way, and hopefully all the tension, again looking between Harrier and Shuttlecock, I suppose we'll take you back to our beautiful abode. And come on then.
Please, lead the way.
He gets down on his hands and knees, and you hear cracking and popping from every joint. And from each of the ghouls, it's exactly the same. There's quite a lot of noise as creaking joints like react to them getting on all fours, and they quite comfortably move through because what is pain to them at that point. But yeah, you guys are going to have to crawl through a small tunnel covered in brambles. So who's first? Are we going back to Victor in the lead?
Sure.
Okay. I think Victor, you're a sensible man. You're trying to move things out of the way. Let's have you do a weirdly enough, survival is the thing that I'm leaning towards again. It's like, you're cutting back plant life and stuff. It's out in the wilderness type stuff. So survival and strength, just for the speed, let's say. And we'll call it a difficulty 1, just because you're moving the bits that are kind of in the way. It's a relatively travelled path, so a lot of it's been pushed out of the way, but there are the odd bits here and there that a human would not really want to have to brush past.
Oh god, what is my survival?
Your survival is 3, and your strength is 4, so you're looking for a below 7.
Ooh.
Oof, 18 and a 9.
Well, that ain't happening. You are, as you're crawling through, your lovely lab coat that you tend to wear, no matter where you do it.
Oh no, not my lab coat. I love that thing.
Yeah, it's you've got a little tear on your shoulder. It's taken 1 point of health from you because you're bleeding, and these are big, thick, mutant irradiated brambles, let's say. They're not going to poison you or anything like that, but it hurts when one of them scratches you, and it leaves a lasting sting.
All right, I'm down to 8 HP, I guess.
Indeed.
Fuck.
And then Percy following far behind, if I could get a similar strength and survival. And you are doing a bit better because you're a strong boy. You need below 11.
Yep.
And that's 2 successes. It was a difficulty 1, so ostensibly you've got double like success. You're all good. I'll give you some minor advantage in the future based on that.
Lovely.
So you make it through without a scratch. And right behind you, I'm not going to call for a check because this is just cutting through plants, but Shuttlecock, you are dutifully, in fact, if you want to describe, are you like doing it in a sensible manner, or are the Mr. Handy Arms flailing? Like, how are you cutting through and getting through the bits you need to get through?
I don't think I'm flailing. I think now that I'm like a little bit wary of what's going on, I'm pretty much keeping 2 of my 3 arms kind of like central, and then I've just got the buzzsaw in front of me, just kind of cutting enough of a route to like be able to get through. Mm-hmm. So I'm not fully flailing. I'm more, this is like a precision job sort of thing.
Okay, so being surgical,
yeah,
and sort of like as efficient as possible.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so it takes a few moments. It's not that long of a tunnel, mercifully. You come out into a very small clearing. It's obvious that these residents have worked on this area. What it would otherwise be brambles, it's very clearly one of the spots that would be overgrown, but they flattened everything out, and they managed to make space around a small outbuilding around the back of a larger ruined building. This thing is barely walls. You've got a sense of a foundation, but it's overgrown. It's full of trees and what have you. Only this small building at the back is still there. It's about the size of a school porter cabin, let's say. Just to give you a sense, hopefully that translates across the sea. I think Americans have vaguely the same things, and those in other countries. And as you approach the threshold, Harry turns around and, he stops the group, and he lets Harriet and Harrier go in, and he stops you at the door and he goes, I need to get just one more reassurance from you. You're definitely here to help, right? I have been lied to before. I've got to be careful when I'm protecting my family. You do understand, right?
hey, we understand the importance of family. I give him like a thumbs up. Like, yeah, don't worry, we're good guys.
I feel like Victor needs to persuade. Be sincere about that. I think
because it didn't come across the most like. It was a little ominous.
That's a charisma speech check right there. So you have got.
He's like, yeah, we can trust you, right? And you're like, oh, don't worry, you can trust us. Like,
that's just how it took.
This is such a strong suit for your character with 4 charisma and no speech. So, you need below 4 on 2d20, and I'm going to say it's a difficulty 1 because he wants to believe you.
Don't worry, it's not the total that you're trying to beat it with, it's on each of the dice.
Yeah, just one of them needs to be below 4. Or 4.
Here we go.
How lucky are we today?
That's a 17 and a 3.
He's done it. So, in spite of Percy and even Shuttlecock, who is not human, even Shuttlecock recognized that there was a certain disingenuousness about the way that line was delivered of like, oh, I would never say that. Like that's one of those things, like that's part of the etiquette programming of like, don't ever utter lines like this. Somehow, Victor has said it, and Harry, whether it's past experience, desperation to believe, or what, has just gone, oh, I'm so glad you're here to help. We've had such a terrible time. Come in. We'll get you some water. And he sort of steps back to sort of guide you into the house. You are met by a fairly clean room, all things considered.
A lovely place you have.
Much like the clothing and general everything about these characters, the room matches. What's there? Like, there's a teapot, there's a tea set. It's all cracked. There's stains. There's something has been brewed in the pot, but it's not tea. There are horse brasses on the wall, a couple of them missing. There are Toby jugs, that one of which has been modified slightly and is chipped and has bits broken off of its lip and nose, and it looks like maybe it's an attempt to make it look like part of the family. And yes, there is a small table in the center of the room, a couple of cots off to the side, and Harriet has gone over to the table and has started laying the tea set. And goes, oh, it's not often we get guests as friendly as you lot. We want to make sure that you're nicely fed and watered so you can help us.
Thank you for your generosity, Harriet.
Sit down.
Yep, thank you.
Harrier has gone over to one of the cots and is sat picking one of his nails with his flick knife, and just eyeing the group as he does.
Okay.
You all take a seat then, and Harry and Harriet join you at the table. Harry looks at you all and he goes, you know, since it all went off all that time ago, I don't know how long it even is at this point. It must have been a good long while, but since it all went off, I ain't seen a single person looking as healthy. Well, where the bloody hell have you come from?
We are from close by, and we saw the distress signal, and we just rushed here, just hoping to save as many people as we could.
You're not with the government, are you? And there's a slight bit of hope in his eyes as he says it.
The what?
The government, the powers that be, you know, the ones that gave the advice on how to deal with the thing when it, like the big explosion when it happened. We followed it all to the T. You must be here for us because we're good English people and everything. I do everything proper, right?
I look over at the other two and have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Maybe our resident Mr. Handy may have some information on what's going on, what happened historically for them to be responding like this.
Well, I would have been in the vault the whole time with everybody else. I think I could probably infer that they may be talking about when when it all kicked off. But again, I don't know really how much. Shuttlecock's not like an archivist or anything like that. I basically was programmed to be an assistant to the overseer, so knowing what went on historically is maybe not the most important thing. Well, the most important thing is to be able to like make a bed and take notes and do admin tasks and things like this. Yeah,
I think that the Mr. Handy's protocols would be based on the governance of the time, but not necessarily would inform it. In terms of like, you don't know exactly what was said in terms of the rules, but ostensibly the Shuttlecock would be carrying out the tasks that are required, and ultimately it is an overseer's Mr. Handy, so it is very specifically geared towards like, you're for the vault, you do the things related to that. So broader purview doesn't make sense necessarily to have that.
Sure, it's just maybe he picked something up along the way in the multitude of overseas he looked after.
Well,
But
I don't
if
know
he
if I
hasn't-
would have any insight in like beyond that. I knew, but which everybody knew that at some point like there was like bombs going off and things, because I presume people know why they were in the vault. But I wouldn't know any more than that, really. As an admin robot, basically.
Yeah. All right. Admin robot with circular saws and flamethrowers.
As a standard array, I've got to be able to.
Classic admin tools.
Yeah.
Gonna cut through the bureaucracy.
Yeah, and I've got to fix people's the overseer's garments and potentially craft new ones. Anything that, who knows what he might ask of me. I've got a flamethrower. I might need to burn some records.
Yeah, true.
Flambe a creme brulee.
Yeah, exactly. Anything could happen, is what we're saying. In the course of my duties, anything could happen.
Yeah. All right.
Except needing context.
Can't help on this. All right. I guess what I want to get right is I don't want to tell them that we come from a vault.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say we were on our boat fishing, and then we saw the distress signal and figured we could help as soon as we could help.
Oh well, I'm just glad you happened to be sailing by then. You get the impression that Harry's not, especially from his attire and everything, working class, Harry's not the most educated man. So you being this, I think the way that you would express things is enough for him to go, that's a fancy man. He knows things. And to some extent, he's like, oh, well, thank God you were just floating by then. I'm so glad you're here to help. We had to hide under that sand for hours until they buggered off.
They explain.
Yeah, the daddies. You must know about the daddies, right?
Daddies? No, tell me. You're going to have to tell us more.
What do they look like?
Well, the flying things. You, I'm guessing you're not that old, are you? To look at the lot of you. You weren't around before it all went down, were you? They remind me of something from then, but I don't think you could understand.
I guess I look at the others and I go, no. I don't know where you're coming from with these, but if you could just let us know what they look like. All
right, well, they're these things. They like float about. They move right quick, and they're like skinny buggers. Proper hard to it. They got like, I think they've got 6 legs, but the way they float about and the way they fling them around, it's really hard to count them. And you don't want to get close because they'll cut you right up.
Okay. And you call them daddies?
Yeah. Like I said, they remind me of these things we had before the war. We called them daddy longlegs, but they were right small things. These things bloody size of my bloody torso. And like I say, they whip their little legs, those skinny little legs around at such a speed. I got cut on the arm one time, and he lifts his arm up and pulls his sleeve back, and you can see like a gouge where on a human this would probably be a horrible wound that would have caused like a ridiculous amount of bleeding, but he's just missing a chunk of his arm.
Okay, cool. Holy shit.
Where did these daddies go to?
Well, they just float around the area. It mostly happens during the summer when I think it's breeding season or something. But it gets hot, and then a couple of weeks after that happens, we get this little storm of the things coming through. Thankfully, they can't get too close to each other once they've matured, otherwise they knock each other to pieces. So they don't come in numbers, but even one of them's enough.
Giant six-legged horny daddies. Not where I thought this was going today.
You say you think that they may breed in the summer. Are there any places where we could potentially, where they potentially go, where there might be a load of dead bodies so we can determine more?
Well, I think you're going to struggle to find the body, frankly. Like I said, when I say they're thin and skinny, I don't know how much I can emphasise this. Like, if you pick it up, it's like a little bit of grass or something when they're dead. Like, it gets blown on the wind. So you're going to struggle to find bits and pieces of these things, but they always come from inland. I don't think they deal all that well with the sea and the water or anything like that. So this is about as far as they get.
You said they come around during summertime. Are you expecting a fresh swarm of these long, thin breeding daddies?
Truth be told, we didn't even get the ones that were there. There was one for each of us. 3 of the bloody things came flying over as we were combing the beach looking for cockles and whelks. And, well, we had to just hide. I took some pot shots, but bloody hell, when you see these things, you're going to understand. You aiming at them with guns is almost impossible.
Yes. Where did you get that gun? It's marvellous.
Oh, this one? And he looks around to the rest of the family and he whispers to Harriet, "Do you think I should tell him?" And she shakes her head. He goes, "Oh, it's been in the family for a while. Don't worry about this. This one's mine. I'm sure you've got your weapons. If you guys have been surviving as long as you have, then you should be all right. Right? You're here to help us, right?"
Of course. You know, if anything, I just wanted to take a look at it. So if there was anything we could do to, like, you know, keep it some pep.
Oh, it's in fine fettle, my friend. And he gives it a tap, and a small spark escapes from the end of the barrel.
Okay, then. As long as you're sure.
Beware of that discharge, friend.
You rest assured, I've got a lot of practice with this thing. And he puts it down to his side into a holster just to get it out of sight. Well, drink up, boys. You're going to have a bit of a fight ahead if you are going to deal with these things for us. And he slides the teacup towards Percy, who's closest. He goes, "Drink up. Keep your strength up."
I take the teacup. I take a look at it. What do I see in it?
You are met by brown liquid. It has a savoury smell.
Percy sort of gently tips the teacup and takes the tiniest of sips.
It's an unusual flavour. It's something you've not tasted before, but it's not altogether unpleasant. It's salty, and there is a definite meaty quality to it. But you again, like, you've never tried this beverage before.
He sort of fakes a kind of and fakes taking a bigger sip and goes, "Very nice, thank you," and then just gently slides it along towards Victor.
You've all got a teacup each.
Okay. Can I smell
Have
it.
some more, Victor. Have some more, Victor, please.
I smell it and I go, "What is that aroma?" And I'm curious because I feel like you mentioned meat flavor, and I'm not sure if I would know that much about meat. And I guess I'd be curious because I guess we only have whatever was down in the thingy and whatever I've ever been able to scavenge. So
yeah. I think the only time you've ever had interaction, probably, now there's a good point, of like the interactions with meat in the vault itself, red meat, would probably be the bodies of other people. So...
Now we really out here eating other people in the vault.
No, I'm not inferring that. But you may have smelled the metallic tang of blood, and elements such as that will have, like, something in your senses is going, this is reminiscent. But that's the only thing it's reminiscent of, and as such, it definitely immediately begs questions.
I'm guessing we would have had we have tea and coffee in the vault because England.
Yes. I think it's fair that hydroponics were like part of the vault's things, and yes, as a supply of tea. There is a tea growing room because of the temperatures and everything required, and it's one of the things that the overseer insisted that the tea room be maintained above other things while the place was failing. The tea room was definitely no, that's that. If we lose that, then we have lost ourselves. We can't lose.
We don't have that. Yeah.
Britain has fallen.
Right. I totally see that as part of that's definitely on brand for the overseer, and I feel like my character would know that. So, all right. So I smell it, and I'm curious by the meat smell. I try some because, again, just from the scientific standpoint, I'm obviously curious enough to wonder what this concoction is, and then I guess I ask the question of, I say something along the lines, well, this isn't tea. What is this? It's I guess it's very different to what to the tea we have.
Oh, it's good of you to ask.
And Harriet pipes up.
It's actually my special creation that I've been working on for a little while. It's based on this stuff called Bovril that we had before all the bombs fell, but that was made of these things called cows, which I don't think. You ever heard of a cow?
I have.
Is it in your database? Have you got one visual record of a cow somewhere in your memory or something?
The cow goes moo.
That's it.
Well, it's this distilled meat drink. You must have seen the big things with the fat tails. We call them squirrels.
No.
It's weird. If you've been around here for any amount of time, then I'd expect you to have seen them. But whatever the case, I boil them down. I get a big fat squirrel, and I put it in the pot, and I boil it, and I boil it, and I boil it, and then I scrape out the bits, and then I put that in the pot, and then we put the water in, and there you go.
Okay, so you're saying this thing that you call a squirrel, you are able to contain it and hold it down long enough to extract its flesh and juices?
Well, containing so far as kill.
Interesting. I guess I want to ask, what have they been doing in order to keep the daddies at bay?
Asking that question provokes Harrier in the corner to let out a big snort. Keep it down, Harrier. Harrier looks over him, scornful look in his eyes, and just shakes his head, gets up, and walks outside of the cabin. Don't mind Harrier, he's just going through teenage problems or something. He's always moody.
He's a teen? I think so. He's a teenager?
Well, he's a bit upset because we're not very good at it. Or at least I'm not willing to risk any of us getting hurt anymore by those things. It's better that we just hide. It's not like we need to breathe much or anything like that anymore, so we just bury ourselves. They can't get at us. It's fine. He wants to go out and deal with them.
Well, that makes sense.
If you say so. Rather your neck than mine. You want rather your skin than mine.
Yeah, one of us still has that. I mean, I want to know how they've been handling them, so I guess I want to... If I can't get any more information out of Harry, I might go outside and have a word with Harry.
Okay. So is that Victor's cue to get up and leave the other two there, or what's the group's vibe on this?
I'm going to get up and excuse myself and say that I need to gather... Before I can do anything, I need to gather as much information as I possibly can. So it's imperative to me that I speak to Harriet. So I'm just going to excuse myself and go try and get more info.
As you're getting up then, and as we're probably about to leave the room for just a moment, I think we'll have Harriet pick up the teapot and turn to Percy.
Oh, can I get you a bit more squirrel brew?
Yes, please. I'd love another cup.
Oh, let's get you filled up. And she's pouring as Victor is leaving the room. Does Shuttlecock have any input before we leave the room for a few moments?
Well, I've not really been leading the questioning, have I? So I feel like with Victor moving, I'm trying to think where Shuttlecock because I'm trying to think directives rather than anything else. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Shuttlecock is immediately on board with I guess we're taking on a job to help these people now, because that seems like how, that's not really find out what's going on.
Are there many other people living in this vicinity?
Old Father Jenkins, he's up on the hill, but we don't get up in his direction very often, and I can't say I've seen much light coming out of the chapel for a while, but aside from him, I can't say that I know anybody else around the area. Most of them didn't follow the government advice, and most of them were gone by the time we got out. But, yeah, sorry about that. I wish I could direct you to somebody a bit more knowledgeable, but I might be it.
Where did you get out from?
Well, from under the table, like the advice said, right? When the alarm goes, you get under the table and you wait for the all clear signal. You cover up all the windows and doors, and then about a week or two later, you go, "You're all right. Government will let you outside," and as you can see, we're doing fine.
Well, I'm glad to see somebody around here follows directions.
To the letter, my friend. In fact, I've still got the instructions. And he goes over to a cabinet and pulls out a little pamphlet, dog-eared, very well read, and it's got some very questionable advice about hiding under tables, stop dropping and rolling,
Duck and cover,
the viability of safe water, and the amount of time it will take before the world becomes livable again. Everything seems to be just a bit, well, more than a bit
optimistic
in this piece of advice.
Please tell me that on the start of it, at the front of it, it says "keep calm and carry on."
Of course it does, and it's got it's got the crown insignia. It's British through and through in every cringeworthy way you can think of.
Marvelous.
What's abundantly clear is that Harry is he's a simple man who's followed instructions to the T, believes he's done the right thing, and somehow it kind of worked out. But as he's described, most folks, when the big one landed or whatever happened. They didn't come out of their houses again. The houses weren't there for the most part.
Right, yeah.
Aside from the daddies, are you aware of any other dangers in this area?
Well, it's obviously a bit horrible getting about. I've gotten scratches and cuts, but that's don't bother me too much. But you'll have a hard time getting further inland without doing some work. Aside from that, I mean, there's a couple of other animals and stuff about. Nothing quite as nasty as those squirrels. Or, I mean, the daddies are the worst of the worst, but they're only around for certain times. Everything else is a lot smaller.
Good to know. This will all go into my report.
Oh, well, yeah, you make sure to dot every I and cross every T, as they say.
They do say that.
Yep, I told you I know my government.
I don't think Shuttlecock has any kind of more immediate questions right now. It's sort of gone into, like, get more information for the overseer mode rather than get more information on this potential job for these people.
We can leave you chatting about Harry proudly telling you about how he's followed all the rules, going through the pamphlet. All of that is taking place as Victor heads outside and catches Harry leaning 1 foot up against the side of the unit that you're inside of. And he's still picking a nail with the blade. But on closer inspection, he's going a bit deeper than a person might. He's cleaning out ghoul gunk from parts of his hand.
Ghoul boo.
Okay. Hi, Harry, right?
That's me. You were Victor, right? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, that's me. I'm Victor. I pull my hand out to shake.
He doesn't offer his. Okay. What do you want? You were supposed to be talking to Dad.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like I was getting as much information as I needed, and look, I just want to help, and I just want to know as much about these daddies as I can. The only way I can help is, if I have as much information about them as possible. I mean, I'd love for us to go get a sample and maybe work something out, but anything you can tell me will be at least a step in the right direction.
He pauses, brings the knife away from his hand. Are you sincerely telling me you're going to help deal with the daddies? Because I've heard it all before.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, we learn to deal with the daddies. We help you deal with the daddies. We help me deal with the daddies. And, in my profession, I'm something of a scientist, and collecting of data is kind of my forte. And the more data I have, the better I am at what I do. So anything you can help me with helps me, and helping me helps you.
If you're being sincere, and I'm going to take you at your word for now, if you're sincere, then I will give you information on how and where to find these things, because I'm sick to death of this, and after what happened to Mum the last time one of these idiots came along saying they were going to help, this better bloody work out. So I'm going to give you everything I got, and if I see you take a step out of line, he waves the knife left and right, kind of in a menacing, like, I've got this kind of a way.
Hey, I get it. You care about your family. I care about my family too.
Oh, you got a big family, have you?
You could say that.
Oh, well, I suppose that means you've got something to worry about. So, right, here's the deal. Harrier pockets his knife, and you can see his demeanour ease off just a little bit. He's still wary. But he starts gesturing off into the distance and says, well, every year they seem to come over from around that direction. You can see them sort of like bobbing along a little bit, like they disrupt a lot of the plant life around them because of the way that they're flailing arms and legs and what have you, cut up stuff. I think it's how they manage to get through the brambles, is that they've developed some kind of means of just flicking themselves at it, and it like just gets out of the way. So you could see that kind of coming, and well, we did see that yesterday, obviously before what happened, and they descended on the house. I think they must have sensed the smoke or the movement. I don't know if smell us. I'm not a scientist, man, like you, so I don't know that much about what they know. But what I do know is that they know where we are.
Harry, can you tell me if you can tell the difference between a boy daddy and a girl daddy?
I can't say I've ever given that much thought, because when they're around, I'm thinking more about whether or not I'm going to get my arms and legs cut off, not whether or not the daddies have mummies.
Yeah, fair play. All right. So I guess I'm making notes as he's talking, and I'm just scribbling down some bits and pieces, and I'm working on, I guess, the start of a plan.
I don't think there's that much more for it that he could give you in terms of like what he's giving you, what he knows ultimately with that.
They come from near the vegetation, the overbrush, and they are able to get in because they've got superpowered cutting legs. Cool. And they know where this family are. Okay, those are my key points. Cool. All right. If he's got no more information to give, I guess I'll go back inside and ask to speak to my team.
I think Harrier will lead the way. He'll know that like the information exchange is completed, and he'll turn to go, you know, I have my doubts about you lot, and I still do. I'm not going to pretend like I don't, but if you're willing, then I think it's time for us to let the others know the plan, and then we can get ready and get out. Because if those things get the jump on us before we get the jump on them, then we might get cut to shreds.
Oh, right. I'll let the team know.
He opens the door and heads back in. Harrier is once again offering more squirrel brew. This is round 4 potentially.
I'll take another cup of that. Actually,
How's Percy feeling right now? Bit squirrely.
Hey!
He's on his maybe his 4th cup, and he just thinks to himself, "Yeah, it is a bit nutty."
Is it an acquired taste?
It's definitely something. But I think he's kind of like he's sort of had his fill at this point. He's starting to be like, I don't think I could stomach any more of this. As tasty as it is, yeah, it's doing something to me. I might need to find a tree to relieve myself upon.
While that exchange is taking place, Harry, you hear as you're entering the room, Victor, Harry is asking Shuttlecock if those are actually the words to the national anthem, and if he's 100% sure that that's correct.
So what are the words that he's saying?
Harry is absolutely sure that it is "God save our gravy queen."
I mean, in many ways that makes more sense.
You're correct in saying it's gracious queen, but he is it's certain it's gravy queen. And that he remembers the gravy boats, and the queen must have sailed on a gravy boat. You ride on a boat, you must know about gravy boats. That's the line he's on.
Well, I may have a problem in my memory circuits, but I'm fairly certain it's Gravy King, not Gravy Queen.
Yes.
I had no idea there was a change of monarchy. Oh, I'll have to change all the regalia. He starts going around the room, moving little bits, and he finds a plate that's got like a very faded picture of a woman wearing a crown, and he turns it around to face the wall. Sorry, ma'am. And Harrier comes in saying, "Mum, Dad, I've got news. This Victor guy, he says, I believe him now. He says he's here to help. He's going to kill the daddies for us."
You know me. I'm a real daddy slayer.
Let's go make some orphans.
Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time on Thursday the 25th of June for the next chapter of our Fallout story, and we hope you'll all join us for that. In the meantime, you can head to pretendingwithdice.com for links to all of our online presences, including our Discord server, merch store, Ko-Fi page, and much, much more. So yeah, for now, that's our show. We hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.